In this video, we're going to talk about adding employees to your store. First, navigate to Employees in the left menu. Then, in the top right, click New Employee. Any field in red is a required field. For example, you have to pick a first name and an email for any employees that you want to add to your store. You can also add things like their last name, phone number, and adding an image. You can also add your employee's address information below. Any important comments or things to know about your employee can be added in the comments section. If you have enabled the time clock, then you can set a time that employees are allowed to start work and a time when employees have to log out of work. This will prevent employees from logging 20-hour days when they were only allowed to be in the store for 7 or so hours. If you want your employee to be able to override prices on items, then check the box here. If you want to limit the amount of discount percentages that your employee can apply, enter the amount here. If you've set up commissions for your employees, you can set up their default rate and what method it's calculated based on, such as the profit of a sale or the selling price of items. For record keeping, you can enter things such as the hourly pay rate, the hire date, and the birthday for your employee. If your store uses employee numbers, you can enter that here. The language option is what language the system will display in for that employee. If you have multiple registers and your employee tends to use one, you can select which one it defaults to when they log in. If your employee tends to only work at one location, you can select a specific location that they always log into. If they're in multiple locations, you may want to select all of them, so that way when they log in, they can select which place they're working at that day. If you've added any custom fields for employees, they'll appear here. The Files section lets you add and upload any files that are necessary. Just click Choose File and upload from your device. The employee login information is important. The username is how they will log into the system. After that, you can enter the password that they will use to log in for the first time. You'll have to repeat the password in order for it to save. If you want them to change their password the next time that they log in, check this box. That will let them create their own unique password. Checking this box will mean that every time a user is switched, they will have to log in again to the system. This will prevent people from performing actions under someone else's name. If you have time clock enabled but this particular employee does not have to clock in, select the option here and they will not be prompted to. Dark mode changes the background color of PHP POS. Think of it like dark mode on your phones or tablets. By clicking Inactive, you mean that an employee can no longer log into the system. This is useful if employees are on vacation or taking a leave of absence, and you want to keep their information, but you don't want them logging in from someplace else. In the same vein, you can select a specific IP or IP range that employees must be within in order to log into the system. Last but not least, we have employee permissions and access. If you've set up permission templates, you can apply them by clicking here and selecting the name from the drop-down. If you're creating custom access, read through each section carefully and select what permissions you want someone to have. If you select one of the top tier, it will automatically select all of the actions underneath. If you only want to give certain actions, for example, you want people to be able to add and update customers, but you don't want them to be able to delete it, you can just click the one option. When you're done, click Save in the bottom. You can edit employees at any time by navigating to Employees on the left, and then simply selecting Edit next to the employee name.